is Sauron, isn't he?
How did Adar know? Adar, how did you know? I don't know if I missed something or if he always knew. And maybe he's smarter than we think because he seems like he's getting a lot of information out of Galadriel pretty effortlessly. And it's making Galadriel seem like not exactly the brightest crown in the box. Rings of Power Season 2 continues down the path of the same trajectory as Season 1 and the first half of Season 2. And now we're nearing the end. We're not quite there yet. We're nearing the end. I've kind of lost hope in this show getting better. It's slowly starting to get worse for me. And I know a lot of people are already saying it's really bad, but I was kind of able to get into it, but now everything just feels so random. Time is passing differently for each of these storylines, so it seems. I'm starting to forget about things that are happening. It's probably because none of it really seems to connect all that well, and so much happens off screen that it just feels like things are happening out of nowhere. Episode 5 was actually decent, okay? I actually kind of liked it, and I don't know if it's because there were no Harfoots in episode 5. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't exactly remember what happened in episode 5. We had a Rondir. Did we have a Rondir? We got Celebrimbor.
You've done to me!
Celebrimbor has reached the point of no return. No, he was already gone by that Anatar scene.
Anatar.
He is slowly losing his mind, actually quite quickly, under Sauron's manipulation. They made 7 rings for the dwarves, and now Durin's dad, King Durin, is possessed by the ring, and he is obsessed with mining for mithril, even though he was totally against that. And now he's just like, we need all the mithril we can get. And Disa is also noticing this, and I don't know, I kind of like the interaction between Disa and Durin. They seem like a healthy couple. They're supportive of each other. They're trying to stop the king. I guess they're gonna come up with a plan. In episode 6, Disa's using her voice, singing to the mountain. Trying to scare off the people coming, the other dwarves coming to mine for the mithril. That was actually quite a ridiculous scene. And I thought she was actually going to control the mountain, like the rocks were going to fall or something. But no, it was just like a group of bats just flying down, scaring them away. I didn't expect Disa to be sort of,
we'll lay our bodies in front of that mine ourselves if we have to.
She's over here making all the calls, doing all the convincing, making the decisions. The dwarves are doing their thing, getting the mithril. They brought some over to Eregion. Okay, they also brought the doors of Durin. That was supposed to be a significant thing, I guess, but I don't remember it. It's not exactly that significant in the show, I guess. And at some point, they kind of use it as a table. They've been to Eregion and back to Khazad-dûm, and it's starting to seem like Eregion and Khazad-dûm are neighbors. It's starting to make sense why in season 1, Elrond and Celebrimbor just walked there. I feel like the dwarves have been there and back again, while everything else around them has not exactly been happening. Gil-galad and Elrond, they seem to be MIA, at least for episode 6. I mean, They know Halbrand, Anatar, Sauron, whatever you want to call him.
I've had many names.
They urgently need to do something, but I guess it's going to happen off screen. In the next episode, we're going to see they've actually done a lot of stuff. We just weren't there to see it. I was going to try to lay out the events in the order that they happen in all these episodes. But then I'm just that's a lot of work for a show that doesn't seem to care about the order of events because they're just jumping around. The Harfoot story came back a little bit in episode 6. We see Poppy and Nori again, but it's just for a couple minutes. And then Poppy and the new nobody Harfoot, they're already kissing. When did this relationship develop? I guess off screen, but that happened quite fast, right? Or maybe it took a long time. If it took a long time, then why was that the only thing that kind of happened to them? This evil wizard is still also taking his sweet ass time. He's not doing anything. Where is he? And then Stranger Guy, Meteor Man with Tom Bombadil, they're also just sitting in his little cottage having conversations about magic. Now, Stranger Guy, he has to make a decision. He has come to a fork in his road, and he has to decide to save his friends, Nori and Poppy, or to choose the path of his destiny or something. I actually liked his relationship with Nori, the stranger in Nori. I thought their friendship was going to be like some wholesome thing. There has been nothing to sort of make their bond seem like it's something worth caring about. And then I guess we're focusing more on Numenor in these 2 episodes because I keep forgetting that Numenor exists. It's forgettable, but now it's kind of like taking center stage a bit. You got Pharazôn. He has kind of dethroned Muriel. The loyalties of the Numenorians seem to shift super fast. One moment they're like, boo, Muriel, we don't want her. And then suddenly they throw her in the sea to feed her to the monster because, I don't know, they're like, we have to see if the Valar are going to, what are the Valar gonna do? Are they gonna deem her worthy? So she soaks in the water, the seawater for a bit. I mean, technically it was supposed to be Elendil, but she kind of volunteers as tribute, takes his place, soaks in the water, comes up, and then because she survived, all the Numenorians are like, yay, Muriel! Prior to that, we also have Pharazôn's son. I'm forgetting his name. I don't even remember he was a character, but in episode 5, he was like the main antagonist. We all hated him. He just became a brat. Maybe he was always a brat. This scene reminded me of that Prince Zuko versus Commander Zhao scene where they were fighting, but then Prince Zuko won. And the moment he turns his back, Commander Zhao tries to, take a stab at him, tries to do something. But Iroh stepped in. Okay, but this is a situation in which Iroh didn't step in. Elendil didn't step in. He was restrained by the guards, and so that guy is gone, and that was a frustrating scene that made me really loathe Pharazôn's son. But he's kind of a nobody, so nobody really cares about him, I guess. That was kind of the most emotion I've felt watching this series to this point. And also, they're trying to make Elendil seem like a Ned Stark kind of character, but he's not there. Anatar's still doing the same thing. He's been doing the same thing this whole season. Manipulating the elves. Being sort of a playboy. I don't know. There was a scene where he was just flirting with this other blonde elf that's like Temu version of Galadriel. And he's like, oh my god, your hair reminds me of Lady Galadriel's. She's all like, ooh, heart flutters. Like, I think that was supposed to be like a fan fiction scene. It could have worked if maybe Halbrand, Sauron, he's not even Halbrand anymore, Anatar, if he actually, had a thing for blonde elves. But now I'm just like, I feel like he just hates everyone he's interacting with and he's just pretending. These elves are really gullible. They're just really easily manipulated. And there was a scene when Celebrimbor was like, I can't make 9 rings for humans. Men are corruptible. They're easily corrupted. Celebrimbor, you're the one who fell literally the moment Anatar showed up.
Anatar.
All of these elves, dwarves, humans, they're all kind of the same. They just look different. They just look different. I thought elves were supposed to be better than this, but they're falling so easily. Everything's just going Anatar's way, kind of. And now we're just about to have some sort of a final showdown at Eregion. But I'm just like, okay, if Galadriel is like siding with Adar, if they're gonna team up, and if in the end they do defeat Sauron, it's just like, what happens next? And Adar asks exactly that question. I'm like, yes, Galadriel, did you think about it? If you team up with this person and the orcs to get rid of Sauron, like what are you gonna do afterwards? Turn on each other right after you were just teammates? Maybe they're smarter than me. Maybe the show writers, they got ideas. They're gonna make this work out somehow. I'm hoping, because I can't think of a way this show can end on a good note.